Hello, everyone. This is Yonks with ReToken, the real estate DAO, and hanging out with some other people on the ReToken core team today. Joined with us, we have Blurs, Amy, and the most amazing woman ever, Mrs. Yonks. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. And one of the initiatives here, and this is the very, very first design contest, and I can't believe that it's taken us this long. I'm a huge fan of design contests. I've run design contests in other communities in the past, and it seemed like the perfect opportunity here with this ReToken relaunch, and then also had some initial exposure to the plugin, the POAP plugin on Snapshot with BitDAO, the other DAO that Tyler and I are engaged in as far as ambassadors there. And I was like, that was a really cool implementation of that. And that's something, let me actually, instead of just talking about it, let me actually go show over here on Snapshot. And for those that aren't familiar, Snapshot is the #1 governance platform for DAOs today. And like, to put some numbers behind all of this, see this 4.17K spaces over here? Like, not too long ago when we started going down this journey of creating ReToken DAO, I think it was at 1.23, if I remember correctly. So this is like over a 3x the quantity of spaces. DAOs primarily is what is being used on this. But anyway, the one that I was wanting to show you is the one over here for the BitDAO A Embassy. And so here's the one. This is the first one that I participated in, the first vote. And I was one of 5 people that participated in this. And I claimed this POAP here, and it worked fabulously. Like, voted on it and then click on the Mint POAP. Very automated. And that's one of the things, like, want to thank Amy for all of the efforts that she does behind the scenes for creating our POAP event. We are a huge fan of that and the fun that we have with that. And here was another one that we did more recently. Let me see which one it was. Let's see. I think it was this one right here. So this is another one that I added to my collection. And again, it worked great. So the one question that I had that I'm not completely sure about, and that's reflected on the agenda over here. And for those that haven't seen or that haven't watched our live streams before, this is the Trello card. We use Trello for getting all the things done here. And this is the ReToken. We've got links in the wherever you came in for the live stream to check that out. This is a public board. So taking a look at the agenda that prepared here for today, scrolling down, let's see. So the first question, when will we extend the contest until? So let's actually take a look. I was thinking, looking at the calendar over here, because right now, and let's actually take a step back. This is our Discord. This is our main community hub right now. We are working towards creating a platform agnostic community, and we'll be talking more about that. Mrs. Yonks has been leading our new platform team, which is the main initiative. And you can see some of the submissions that we've had on this POAP design contest. And I was wanting to scroll up here to the parameters of this design contest. So it was pretty simple, 2 steps: reply to the official tweet with your design image. And I don't know if people did this or not. That was the main thing that I was wanting people to do, because that provides some social proof and whatnot for us. And the other one was share the tweet in this Discord thread. So fairly simple. And one of the things that we have as far as the ReToken rewards, this was structured so that anybody that submits a POAP design for this ReToken relaunch initiative will, you can submit a total of 25 ReToken there. And the thing that I'm wanting to talk about is how that we will come from the submissions that we have here today to determine the first place, the second place, and the third place. Now, the question will be, how many more submissions can we get? So this is something that we can promote, looking at the upcoming events on our calendar. And let me go back to the ReToken calendar here real quick. Let's switch over to that profile. So looking at today is Wednesday, the 22nd, and we've got our community call coming up here this evening. We'll talk about this during the community call. Now, the other thing too that I have been planning, just haven't had the bandwidth, and this is a great opportunity to get the tweaks or whatever we're going to call it, as far as like the contest extension and what that's going to look like. And where I was going with that, I was planning on creating a very small clip to talk about the POAP design contest. And whether I do that here today or whether it'll be tomorrow, that's something that I'm committing to get done in the next 24 hours or so. So that being said, let's actually take a look going back to the agenda here. Or actually, let's go talk about the first place, the second place. I felt that this was a fair stair step of a reward. So depending on how many entries that we have, I think will determine whether we need to do 1 or 2 snapshot proposals. So you can kind of see over here, this is one that used a single choice voting, and you can see what the different choices were. And if we only have 5 or 6, but if we have like 10 or 20, that's where we would really need to break it into 2 proposals. So one of the questions that we need to find the answer to is, does our design have to be finalized prior to the creation of our own ReToken proposal? So the plan is to create a proposal here on the ReToken DAO snapshot on December 31st, so that everybody that participated here during ReToken relaunch, which basically is the umbrella from a time period standpoint for December. So create this snapshot proposal with the goal of providing this award-winning POAP for everybody that participates in the governance process, because that's one of the opportunities that we have, is to engage more people that hold ReToken in the governance process. So fun things like this are a good avenue for doing that. So that's a question, and I put forward on the BitDAO Discord, since, already participating there, just to see if that's something that we have to have. And if somebody wanted from like the dev team, if they wanted to explore more, because that's definitely one of the things that we need to put in place. So when will we extend the contest until? The 27th at 12, and I'm gonna go back to the calendar, go on mute, and just hear some thoughts looking at the calendar from you all, if you think that would work on that. Let's see, where's that calendar at again? Here we go. So here's today. So that would be and the thought on that too, is if somebody wanted to the opportunity to promote it through the weekend, and 12 on here, and the thought is to, we could work on getting the this is where we can potentially have a follow-up call or some online conversations or whatever that looks like, so that we can move the official voting process forward. But again, I'm going to go on mute and let you all chime in some thoughts here.
So how many votes do we have right now? Not votes. How many entries do we have right now?
Maybe 10 or so. A lot of people put in more than one entry, so that was great. We got some really cool ones. I think 1 or 2 of them were animated. Yeah. So, can you count those, babe, and see how many there are?
It was just a finger in the air. I wasn't looking for an exact number.
I think it's somewhere around 10. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm seeing 3 here.
3,
4, 5. This is the same. It doesn't, the tweet doesn't show. That's why I don't know how to. Dark Mezzo laugh.
Keep going. 7. Maybe 7. Okay, so I overestimated a little bit. I think I thought all those copies were the same one, so I think around 7. So it looks like Julie, Double D, and Dark Mezal for Mezlaff or whatever did the 3 entries. So if nobody else enters, then they're going to be some first, second, and third, however people vote for them. Because I think we're
well, I think that it's it's highly unlikely that we won't have more entries, because I mean, I haven't promoted this at all, and creating a specific video and then not having like looking at the events here for ReToken. I mean, like the opportunity to continue to promote this here throughout the weekend. So I'm really.
Can I make one that says when iced tea?
Well, that's the thing. I haven't even personally made any, and I don't even know if I'm going to. This isn't something that I'm gifted at as far as the from the graphic design, but so I'm really probably expecting another potentially dozen, or and this might be me being over optimistic, but we will see. Like the yeah. So we'll see how many that we get, and we'll have a better idea. And really it's probably looking like we'll probably need to do 2 snapshot proposals to kind of like narrow it down from like maybe 10 or 20 to like maybe a lower number, maybe like the top 5 or the top 8. I don't really know. And part of the reason that and this was a conversation that we had a little bit earlier, but go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, so Ernest had a good idea in the audience. He was asking, can we vote with coordinate tokens? So Ernest, I really like that idea. I think the only challenge would be that this contest is open to all 50 plus people who are we opening this to ReToken holders or everybody in the community?
So when let me go back to and let me look at that. We have our live stream chat here real quick. So I think that what he's asking is that the goal here, Ernest, is to be completely caught up on airdrops entirely before this snapshot proposal drops on December 31st. So any ReToken that you are entitled to for your participation up until December 31st, your vote will be counted in that. So the coordinate ReToken, and looking at the calendar here on December 31st, we won't have the final epic for coordinate done because the fourth round 1-4 won't conclude until I think it's 4 a.m. on January 3rd. So for the first 3 epics in the different circles that whomever may be participating in, those ReToken airdrops will have dropped by whenever this snapshot proposal goes forward, as far as obtaining this exclusive ReToken relaunch NFT. So hopefully, does that answer your question there, Ernest? And we'll let him chime in, but I think that was his question, but not completely sure.
I just want to throw a shout out to Blur's Day and D-Sign, my 2 favorite pups ever. But I really feel like that was the whole reason why there were POAPs was those 2 and the original secret word, just the when POAP guy. Like that's amazing.
Well, and for the benefit of everybody here, we can't just talk about it and not do some justice. Let's open the and it's not even I can't make it that much bigger on here. Well, I guess I can, but it kind of blotches up the but anyway. Yeah, so thanks for this hack POAP job with my image on it, and let's circle back. So this is just, again, one of the ways that we have fun here. So we love having fun. But yeah, that's kind of like as far as all of the ReToken airdrops. So whatever vote that you've got. And this is one of the other things too, is my suspicion is that we don't necessarily have to have the winning design finalized by the creation of this snapshot proposal. Now, I put out a feeler from the BitDAO crew that put this in place, the one that I already showed you earlier in the live stream, to get an answer. And if somebody else wants to drive that conversation through another avenue, I'll provide that update whenever I've got it here later. And I think that was reflected in the agenda here. So yeah, when does the winning POAP design need to be finished by? And I made the little comment that I was just speaking to there, because looking at the timeline, it's really looking like we'll more than likely have to do 2 snapshot proposals, and that's just to narrow it down from 10 plus to a handful to make it easier, because what may happen anyway, that'll make more sense when we go through that. And I think that that's a fairly common methodology as far as narrowing the selection criteria, because your favorite one may be not like the community preferred one, but then like you might like one that anyway, it'll make more sense, I think. But I'm kind of rambling here. I don't know if what I'm rambling about is making sense or not. So I'll go on mute and let you all chime in some thoughts there.
So the only concern I have is that this is going right over the Christmas holiday. So but I don't know how long these typical design contests go for. I mean, I think they go for a couple of weeks maybe, but I mean, what if we push it to, the 2nd or something for the deadline?
Yeah, we can do the 2nd, or we can actually have more than one. I mean, I would, if people like these contests and they want to do them, I'd be totally fine with I mean, I don't want to overwhelm people with contests, but maybe one a month or whatever. So I think it's more just something fun for the relaunch, so that, because December is the relaunch month. So I don't know if we want to do more of these contests. Part of the reason for this call was Jason wanted to put some parameters down of, hopefully we'll have more than one in the future. And then also Ernest had mentioned we could do ranked choice voting if we wanted to knock it out with one shot, and just vote for all that you like, and then kind of just do it that way. Or how much do you like them?
The problem with ranked choice voting, and I'll actually show you, because it's weighted. The one that we want to do is weighted, and I'll show you actually a proposal that we did that had.
It's weighted by your amount of retoken, or it's weighted by your or it's weighted by how much you like it.
Hold on. So ranked choice voting only provides because this is one that we did. I mean, literally yesterday we had a live stream where we were talking about this ReToken improvement proposal specifically, and this is one where we used ranked choice voting. And in this particular proposal, we would have really liked to seen what the results looked like. So it's more of the voting system that we want to deploy is the weighted choice voting. So like what that looks like, and I'm not actually going to create a proposal right now, but just going through the process, like over here, single choice voting, approval voting, quadratic voting, weighted voting. This is the one that we want to do to narrow the choices down, where it'll show the results of the different tier. And let me show you one where that was utilized, because that was actually utilized on one that I just showed you a second ago over here for the BitDAO. Let's see. So what is your preferred choice of a name? So this one here deploys a weighted voting, and this is what we want to see here, because this will allow us to, however the results look, we'll take the, whatever number we come up with, whether
we losing? Just me?
it's the top 5. So the question blurs as far as
Hey,
go ahead.
Jason, you cut out for a minute.
Am I back? Is it all coming in good now?
You're back. Nope, you're gone again.
Now
You are back now, at least for now.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's definitely something that whenever we get in our new place, that we need to get a physical Ethernet cable to for facilitating the live streams here. Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is not the best all the time. So anyway, I love the idea of being able to extend the contest. And let's go back to the calendar real quick. The big question on that, and like if we extend it to the 2nd, that would give us more opportunity to promote it. And then we could maybe make the deadline. And I'll actually add that here, because the big determination on whether that's a viable option, because really wanting this snapshot proposal to be on December 31st. And that's not, that's something that we could have a little bit of leeway, I guess. It's not that big of a deal. This is our rules anyway. So maybe we should just make a decision right now. Let's just say January the 2nd. And then, that'll give the opportunity, like you said, we can talk about it on the core team call, the core relaunch team call on January the 2nd. And then let's just have the deadline be 9 p.m. on Sunday, January 2nd. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, I guess. I think Tyler was saying maybe that would push us into January, which kind of doesn't go with the spirit of the relaunch for December. I am a little indifferent to it. I mean, if we can promote it and whatever and get more things in the next few days, that's fine. But I mean, that'd be great. But the holiday is
people have been pretty consistently showing up. So I think if we're not asking people to participate in the live stream to vote or whatever, I'm just thinking if they care, we're giving them, several days to enter and several more days to vote after that. So if they care, I'm sure they'll find 30 seconds to vote. And if they don't, then I probably don't care that much. I would really like to take this opportunity to do some one-on-one reach out to try and get people to claim their ReToken role in collab land, so we can start tagging people at ReToken and get ReToken holders to get the ReToken role so that people get notified about voting, because I think that's kind of a hole in our server right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too, Tyler. My expectation is that really getting this intro and onboarding bounty that we talked about last night during the ambassadors team meeting. And I gotta pause one moment and thank Blackfire here for really embracing the workflow, and Blackfire created the thread over here. So kudos to Blackfire for getting on board with the threaded experience that we're working on creating. So thank you, Blackfire, for that. And my expectation too is that will improve substantially out of this intro onboarding workflow that we're creating for the ambassadors. And that's just to improve upon the onboarding experience, because the team has consistently identified that as number one priority in previous calls. So I think I love it. We just made the decision. I'm going to actually post this on the live stream right now myself to get a little bit of live stream engagement. And I'm just looking for the YouTube link. And if you wanted to chime in some thoughts, somebody else, while I'm doing that.
Yeah, just a minor concern, because the distribution of ReToken is pretty heavily weighted to a few individuals. I don't know if there's a way to.
Can we do it as a poll, or are you talking about you just don't want a handful of us to vote for something and then everybody else's votes don't count?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing happening. It's not. I mean, a part of me says, well, kind of should, because they're the most biggest contributors. I mean, no one's bought like a bunch of ReToken on the market and suddenly became a whale. It was people earned every token they've received. But yeah, since this is kind of more of a fun thing, I'd like to see.
I'd be fine if we did as a poll, a single choice poll, or I don't know if Sesh has the option to do multiple choice polls where you can say I like 1, 3, and 5.
To clarify, Tyler, this isn't something that we're going to do in Sesh. This is going to be something that's going to be done in Snapshot.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I was trying. That's what Blurs was saying, was if we do it in Snapshot, then I think Snapshot always gives you more votes. I don't think there's any way to say one person, one vote. I think it's always you have 5,000 and I have 3,000 and Blair says 2,500. Amy has 3,500 and whatever. And then that's I think that was his concern.
There is with different strategies, and this is one of the things that I don't know if the functionality exists. So like looking here at ReToken, we only have a basic, and we're using a strategy ERC20 balance of. So like one of the opportunities, and I don't know, again, if you can use different strategies for different proposals, but this may be something that could potentially like add as a feature to Snapshot. Because one of the things that we're looking at implementing is like the ReToken initiate, where somebody, after they go through our onboarding quest, they would have an NFT like through Unlock Protocol. We've talked about having our founding 1K club. So that's the type of hybrid governance that we can work towards. So the opportunity to potentially do that. And one of the things too, I can be a little bit cognizant, because I think that I mean, I was just showing this earlier as far as the ReToken distribution, and this is our Polygon scan. We're on a Polygon, our ERC20 token. Here's the smart contract that we use, and this is what Blurs is talking about. Like right now, there's a big difference between me and then it tapers off quite a bit. So that's absolutely a valid concern, and this is one of the opportunities of really looking at like some type of hybrid governance where, go ahead, Tyler.
Who's number 2? Is that Amy?
Yeah.
Amy, look at you, number 2. Fabulous,
I
girlfriend. Rock it.
Absolutely. And that a lot of that's just reflected, one of the things that we put in place to alleviate some of the burden on me is providing Amy some extra ReToken for facilitating the event creation. I got personally frustrated with the process with the POAP farming, and that's another conversation for another day. But thank you, Amy, for being the POAP queen at ReToken. She's far surpassed me for collected POAPs in a very short period of time. So, but yeah, that's anyway, I'm going to go on mute rambling again.
I think at some point, this isn't related to this call, but I think this is really valuable of doing, like a 15-minute walkthrough of how do you get all the votes in ReToken, because I think that's so spectacular. Amy was doing POAPs before I was doing secretary stuff, and she's super consistent on every single meeting. And now she's got more votes than I do. I think that's amazing. It's so fantastic. I would love to do maybe like it doesn't have to be a long one, but I think it'd be really valuable to the community, maybe a pinned piece of content of saying, what do you need to do to get your voice to be heard? And it's just showing up and doing stuff. And she's super consistent and she's awesome. And I think that'd be really valuable, especially if people are maybe a little bit quieter or they're not as confident in crypto or whatever, and they don't know if they have a voice. They do, and they can. And I think that's great. I would really like to promote that.
Well, that's my weakness. Once I'm given a responsibility, I'm consistent. So I'm sorry.
Being consistent isn't a weakness.
Don't be sorry. That's amazing.
Strength.
It's like spectacular. No, we're so lucky that you're here with us. I think I think that's great. Don't apologize for that. I just want to highlight that at some point in the future, because I think it'd be really valuable for people who say, "Oh man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I think this is kind of cool. I'm not really sure what it is." To be able to say, "Hey, you came in. You weren't already a crypto ninja. You just came in and learned stuff and did stuff, and then all of a sudden." You have more votes than every other person in this community except for Yonks. And I think we should highlight that.
I didn't even know I had that much, but thank you for bringing that up.
So anyway, all right, back on track. So just wanted to throw it out there.
And that's one of the things too. That was some great feedback, Tyler, that we've been intentional about adding to every event Trello card. And you can see the ReToken rewards. And this is something that I've talked a lot about, which is an immediate need and opportunity that we have for leveling up our live stream. We're actively looking for somebody that would like to step in to learn to use this OBS tool, and that's, you know, an opportunity. And then also doing some post-production, adding the relevant key moments. Julie, one of our new community members of the week, Ernest, is actively engaged here. And this is another fun thing that we do. And that's one of the things that we're going to get better at too, to amplify that fun aspect of our community. And like over here, like that's an open proposal that we have. Thank you again, Ernest and Julie, for all the contributions that you've been making here to our community. Can't remember if I voted on this one. So this is one, Amy, you know, you had a great recommendation as far as the how-to video. This is, I think I'm gonna actually create the video.
Jason, you're on mute. Can you hear me?
Maybe I can hear you, but maybe we're having some packet loss again.
I hear you fine.
Maybe Tyler's having some packet loss. So
Oh,
I was gonna.
Blurs, you're right. We're on dial-up.
So anyway, going back to the POAP design contest, we made the decision. January the 2nd it is. So that is one of the things that I love here about our community, is that we get things done. We make decisions, simple as that. The key players are on here right now. So that's one of the things that's fabulous, you know, like can confidently make decisions like this, because again, most of the people here that hold the ReToken are represented on our live stream. And that's one of the things too, that the core team has been assembled by people like Amy and Blursday and myself and Mrs. Yonks that are consistently showing up and providing the necessary leadership to make all of this happen. Because it wouldn't be anywhere near as fun if Mrs. Yonks and I were just hanging out here with ourselves. So we do this all for you, and we love what we're building here together. Anyway, going back to the design contest, so we got this done. So the next thing is, and then the big question is, now we bumped it from December 31st to January 2nd. No worries. And I love that, because that will again provide one last opportunity to promote this during one of our cornerstone events. We've got, these are our two cornerstone events. We've got our community call Wednesday at 7, and then the core relaunch team. And, you know, the relaunch will be over here after this. This will functionally be the last relaunch, and then it'll go back to the core team. But yeah, so we'll put this on here, and I'm going to just put this on here as a let's say let me put it on here just as a placeholder so that everybody can see that POAP deadline. We'll put it like this: deadline POAP design contest must be finished by 9 p.m. Eastern. So there we go. Make it very easy for people to see a visual cue on our calendar there. And this is one of the things that on the content team, the Google Calendar is a core component of our overall content strategy. We're creating content right now by talking about this POAP design contest. And again, the reason that we wanted to talk about this design contest is that easily right now, we've already talked about 2 forthcoming opportunities that there's been a good amount of conversation about: creating the ReToken onboarding quest, and whether it's a ReToken initiate or whatever we end up calling it, that's another design contest that we're pipelining, and then the founding 1K club. And I'm very excited about the founding 1K club. That's something here while we're in season 0. We're creating the opportunity for anybody that acquires 1,000 ReToken. And you can see, I think we're almost up. Like, I'm sure that whenever I get caught up on this airdrops, that this person here will go over that threshold. So I think that's 9 people that will have over 1,000. So that's exciting. So that'll be another design contest where we can use a similar type of a framework. And that's like one of the reasons that we did this proposal over here with the ranked choice, because I was hoping that would have provided a similar results that we saw on the other one. But you know, that's how we learn. I'm very much an experiential learner myself. So We don't have too much more time here. I feel really good about getting a deadline. This is something that we'll talk about at the community call tonight. And let me actually update this in the thread over here. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a new deadline right here. Okay, and I'm going to go on mute, let you all chime in as far as some final thoughts on the design contest. We'll be having more conversations about this at the community call tonight.
I would like to propose that we do either a POAP or an NFT design contest once a month, because we've got so much going on. I think that would be really cool to celebrate, and I think it would be great to especially get somebody launched into this thing. You win some contests, you win some prizes. It would just be one more community of designers that we could reach out to be part of our community.
That's a great idea. We can probably think of events that can tie up to that one.
And let's curb that until we see what this actually looks like itself. I mean, we've already talked about the ReToken Initiate NFT and the founding 1K club. I mean, and some other stuff that we've got already on the ReToken roadmap is. And let me go show our roadmap. I love our roadmap on Trello as well. So the other opportunity, I mean, besides some design contest, I mean, we're talking about this virtual summit coming up. We're talking about doing an NFT-based fractionalized real estate certificate program. So like when you think about like if we follow through with this 3-tiered certificate program, the opportunity of, and I don't know how much that we want the tiers and the certificate program to be different, but we've already got some opportunities already with things on our roadmap that would fit into a design contest. Another one, like our own logo, the ReToken logo is something that we functionally put together fairly quickly back in August, and the opportunity of potentially doing a logo design contest in Q1 or Q2, I think makes a lot of sense too. I would really like to see a little bit more momentum within our community before we initiate a logo design contest. And I'm just planting the seed because I would love to let that just marinate with everybody over time. And that's something that we'll, again, have a lot better experience with as far as what this design contest looks like and how that we can apply a similar framework in future design contests. And if anybody has seen successfully executed design contests in other DAOs, we would love to hear those stories. Bring them here, share your thoughts and experiences with us, because we would love to hear what that's looked like.
I think when we have this contest, all of us needs to retweet it or promote it so people in our circle or beyond can actually see.
Yes, absolutely. And this is one of the things that I'm going to just use this as a thread here. And when like one of the action items that I've got, I'm going to actually identify this as a formal action item, is that I'm going to add to this Twitter thread with the revamped deadline. And then, communicate like with this live stream video on that. So yes, absolutely. And that's, again, one of the things that we'll talk about at the community call tonight. But thank you for bringing that up. And I'm going to add that as an action item and go on mute right now.
Yeah, I love that. And to follow up on that, Amy, I really like the idea of just creating a culture where we are encouraging the community to share these events, because I know you're pretty active on Twitter. Yang says I'm not. I'm trying. It's one more thing I haven't gotten in the habit yet, but it's a habit I'm trying to get more consistent with. So sharing stuff. I'm posting something on LinkedIn every day. We're promoting our events there. Really excited about what we're going to be able to, the community to be able to reach out to.
To circle back on the voting of the POAP, what will happen if we have more entries than people voting. Like if there's 20 entries or 30 and there's only 15 people voting. I'm just wondering.
So what that'll look like, Amy, is you can, with this weighted choice, what you will be able to do is allocate. And one of the things that we could do if you wanted to have like a little bit of experience, one of the things that we have is we could do a sample like dry run here with a test proposal. One of the things that we do have the capability of, the people that are identified on the core team can delete snapshot proposals. And I'm not sure if it you have to be an admin. That's something that I'll take a look at because I'm not completely sure about, but we could definitely do a sample so that you could see what it looks like if we were going to fire up this proposal today. And one of the other things too, besides just the we're in the process of launching a new domain, RET.team, hoping to have that online. It won't be pretty, it'll be very much out of the box, but the opportunity, like through the content team, to create a page or an article, a blog article on RET.team to talk about this POAP design contest. That's actually something that I'm planning to do and just putting that out there. But I think it might be valid to, and I'll bring this up again today or during the community call, let you all think about that from now till later, unless you want to just make a decision that we can do a test proposal so that you all would see what that looks like.
Yeah,
and
let's do it. Yes, let's make a decision. Let's do it. I vote for that.
Okay. And that's one that we can, again, we can let that kind of run till whenever. We'll take that offline and figure out the parameters. And that's one of the things too. This isn't like the proposal, this test proposal, it'll be a lot better because again, going to incorporate our new website into this as part of the overall content strategy. And like the proposals that we put forward, I've talked about this before, but these proposals that we create here on Snapshot are absolutely a part of the overall content strategy. Like one of the things that I started doing here with these newer proposals, and let me see, I don't even know if I put it on here. Let me go to the Treasury distribution one right here. So let's see, this one right here, TDP 20. TDP stands for Treasury Distribution Proposal. So that's one of the things that we did that's a little different compared to, like, we have ReToken improvement proposals like this one here. This doesn't affect things coming out of the Treasury. The TDPs do. So anytime that there's a TDP, that involves whether it's ReToken or something else. Right now, that's pretty much the only TDPs that I know of that we've put forward. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, the content strategy. So like on this, one of the things that we have fun with is airdrops. So like on this ReToken airdrop. So this has got like, watch the live stream play. So this basically creates some backlinks to like our YouTube, and Google and YouTube love the backlinks. This is something that Google crawls. So the opportunity, to have just one additional backlink to our video, for example, that makes Google and YouTube love our stuff better because that means that we have a more well thought out content strategy. So that's very much a tangent to the current conversation. We've got our community call coming up here tonight at 7 Eastern time, and hopefully everybody will be participating in that. If not, you can watch the replay. That'll be community call number 17. It's been an amazing 2021, and I love what we're biddling towards 2022 so that we can have some amazing community growth. And I'm going to go on mute, let everybody else chime in some final thoughts before we bring this live stream to a closure here today.
I'm just excited to vote on those POAPs.
Vote on them or to add them to your collection?
Both.
I am too. I love design contests. It's a fun way to engage the community. So I might have to get historical and see if I can find one that I did like over a decade ago, but that might take some efforts. But anyway, I'll see if I want to do that or not.
You know what? I was even thinking of going all the way back on events for my family and my kids that I can POAP and then let them have it in their MetaMask wallet. I'm just that like if there's a holy communion or a graduation or a confirmation, let them have it in their POAP wallet.
That's amazing. I mean, POAP's tagline is the bookmarks of your life. And I never actually thought about how much better it would be for your first communion. And
Yeah,
like
you
that's
can
amazing.
right now with Brooke, you can POAP her to this first walk, first word, first whatever, and you can make a wallet for her and you can give it to her when she gets old.
That's so cute. I love it.
Well, thanks to you, Amy, when you nominated me, Mrs. Yonks, and Brooke. Brooke is definitely a ReToken holder. She has the 100 ReToken from the Community Member of the Week nomination that you made a while ago. So she does have, and we do have Brooke.yonks.eth. So I did add her to as a subdomain on yonks.eth. We'll be talking more about how cool ways that you can use a .eth domain as far as a branding strategy during our upcoming Web3 Mastermind. That's another fun thing that we're looking, Mrs. Yonks and I are going to be hosting in 2022. We'll be talking more about that later, but I'm going to go on mute again. That's very much of a tangent here. Looking forward, we've got a new deadline, everybody. The POAP design contest has been extended to January 2nd. 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be talking about that at the community call coming up tonight at 7. And then we'll talk about it at our core team. It'll be the first live event in 2022, the core relaunch team. So looking forward to that in January the 2nd to kick off 2022.
We'll see you guys later.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Yep. Thanks. Have a good one.